Van D, a dynamic leader with decades of experience building companies and crushing sales. He's been there and done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Van D.
Inspiring audiences across the country to do it too. Here's Van.
Welcome to the Van Deeb podcast. I'm so glad that you're with us today, but before we get started, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this podcast. I don't want you to miss any of these episodes. They come out twice a month. They'll be in your inbox, and this is a business show. Sometimes I do it alone, and sometimes I have wonderful guests like I have today, but the bottom line is we learn how to be better at business by discussing ways to get better. And that's what this show is all about, the Van D podcast. So please subscribe and also share this episode with anybody and everybody you know, because it'll be beneficial. Now, I got all that out of the way. Now I get to introduce Wendy Wiseman. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Van.
I've known Wendy a very long time. She's a great businesswoman and just a great human, and I'm blessed to know you.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for all you've done for our business community. You are a prime example of success and grit and stick-to-itiveness. So if you need to back up once in a while and tell your story.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll have Dylan, our great producer, maybe I'll have him interview me sometime. And I can share a little bit with the audience about my past. But today, it's about Wendy Wiseman. And you're a great entrepreneur. You've been a successful business owner for years and years, but you're super excited. And after me learning about this, I'm super excited. You are the founder and CEO of Talent in the Age of AI. And the website is talentintheageofai.com. And just reading about this business of yours, this is going to be a big deal.
I think it's necessary today, right? So we've heard about AI for about a year now, and all the myth story about it, it's going to take over everybody's jobs, and we're just going to be robots that ride along. And I just don't think that's true. I think that particularly for people in human resources, talent and development, learning, leadership, that there's still a human element of that. And the new term is talent. I mean, referring to humans as talent. Not human capital was a word we used to use, which is cattle-y.
Insensitive.
A little bit insensitive.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is traditionally a group of people that is very cautious about how they work with people and motivate and manage them, and they don't want to jump into something that's unsure and make a mistake, and they want to still have that human element. So what Talent in the Age of AI is a resource, a trusted, safe space resource of curation and connection. We want to make sure people know they can trust our speakers, participate in podcast webinars that help them do their jobs better.
Yeah, I like that. And if you don't mind, I want to read what your mission, because I really like this. This is for Talent in the Age of AI. The mission is to help organizations recruit, retain, train, and upskill human talent in an era increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence. That says it all.
Thank you. That's our intention, is to be that resource. And there's a curve here, right, of AI. So I think it went way up high. I think it's tempering out a little bit as people realize, well, what's the human role in this? We're still human beings that want passion, want drive, want a purpose. And I don't think anybody's going to let a computer replace them in that, no matter how robust that resource is.
And see, I look at AI as just, because I'm an old-fashioned businessman. I mean, I do a lot of things that, a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. They say, but entrepreneurs like us, we're only supposed to do A priorities and let other people do B, C, and the D's. I've always been the guy that's done the B, C, and D's because I enjoy it. I enjoy starting a project and finishing it. I'm better at doing that than I am delegating. It took me years until I had 400 people in my company. I had to learn to delegate, or I would have been busy 26 hours a day. But I look at AI as a value added to increase the potential we have to do more business.
I think that's really insightful, Van, that it should be what's doing those tasks that you really shouldn't spend your time doing.
Right.
Excuse me. And you can put in prompts that help AI strategize for and with you, data-driven strategies. But we're not going to just sit back and let it do all the work. It can't as uniquely, authentically as a human. It is that helpful aid.
Yes, and have you received any articles or anything in your emails that were AI generated that you could tell immediately because of some mistakes or some impersonal?
Exactly. My number one thing is there's no footer. There's no name of the person, their title, their company, a logo, that those of us who are human and really want to be credible and authentic always include.
Yep.
And then I just ignore those because that's just bot driven. But I get a lot.
Yes. And, I write newsletters monthly, and I decided I'm going to let AI, my chat GPT, write this. And I feed it all about me, so it knows my person. But the way it came out, I had to do a lot of tweaking.
And it'll learn. Like you said, it learns your voice and it'll learn your tweaking, and that's fine. But like you said, the key, I still look at it because it's still signed Van Deeb.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So you're familiar with the person sending it to you. Yep.
Right, and it still represents you, and I'm reading it, and I still think it's from you.
Tell us what kind of clients would be who would you consider a good client? What kind of people should be going to your website, talentintheageofai.com?
So managers of HR, learning and development leaders, even CHROs, that's Chief Human Resource Officer, COOs that are probably putting a lot of pressure on their VPs of HR and training and development, talent and development, to learn, as I said, how to do their jobs better. So 30, 20 years ago, even 10, there still are trade publications that the reason people got those was to learn how to do their jobs better. Well, this is the age of webinars, podcasts, circles of influence. And so this is the way today to access who's doing what in AI in this field. How are they succeeding? What did they learn? Because aren't we fortunate to learn from others' mistakes who will share with us? And also to pose a question in a safe space. So a lot of times professionals don't want to say to someone, I really don't know how to do this or how to handle this or how to leverage this. And we're providing a safe space where they could put it out in a trusted circle of influence to say, here's my dilemma, here's what I need to do, and have people chime in with, I know advice sometimes in business is a dirty word. I don't believe it is. You have some groups that forbid you from giving advice. But what else are we supposed to do except share our learnings? And
right.
So that's what they can do.
With everybody.
Yeah. And then they come back to the circle of influence the next month when they meet and say, okay, I gave this a try. This kind of worked. This didn't work. Now what? Because this is constantly moving, right?
Right.
And so this is the place and space. Someone said to me, well, why can't these HR folks just go and ask AI for all the answers? They can, but if you've searched it, given a prompt, AI gives you lots of choices and things to consider. Mm-hmm. And it still takes some ferreting out and understanding my world, like you said, my voice, my needs. And it's a little too broad for a lot of people. And again, a trusted community makes a lot more sense.
Yes. What, also, I've always looked at AI as a helper, as a tool to solve problems. Is that what that you see also to help with your clients?
It can be that, in addition to, it could go out and search all sources for what other people are doing, what competitors are doing, how to motivate people. It can be all those helpful aids.
I love writing motivational pieces, and so I've been throwing it in Chat GPT just to see how we align, and it gives me some really good ideas, and it gives me some good outlines of what I want to, project to my audience when I'm doing motivational speaking. So I'm thrilled by it, but I'm a very old-fashioned businessman, so I'm just amazed. I mean, I'm like, my mouth is dropped half the time that when it spits it back out, I'm going, wow.
Absolutely. I think we should leverage it, and it's just a matter of putting on the rails where and how you need to. But, excuse me, we can't be afraid of it. It's here. We have to go out there and do it. It's kind of like when websites were new. This ages me, but we used to have clients going, do I need one of those website things, whatever? I said, yeah, actually you do.
Yes.
Now, do I need to embrace it?
Do I need one of those website things?
They were really resentful that it came about and they had to do it. And I think some people are resentful that AI is here and I have to embrace it. I heard last week, this astounds me, there's a company that limits and even forbids AI at lower levels of the organization.
Wow.
That's not going to work. So then there's something called shadow AI. And employees.
What is shadow AI?
Shadow is people still, human beings, we can access it to do our jobs better. We have our own phones, which are personal computers, right? And so companies are dealing with shadow AI. And when I learn skills and am productive thanks to AI, then how does the company really measure my productivity in a performance review? Or how do they know what skills are necessary for upskilling in organizations?
Yep.
Organizations have positions they'd love to fill. And let's just talk about the reason it's called talent. There aren't enough people for the jobs in corporate America. There aren't, just because they're in their jobs, and especially in certain fields where competition is exceedingly high.
So when you see the labor shortage, that's not the C-suite, that's not the upper level management where there's a shortage of workers.
I think so. Productive mid-level managers. There are fields like accounting where last look there were 340,000 open accounting positions in the United States alone. Now everyone goes, well, AI can do accounting. AI can do bookkeeping, right? But
I would not be comfortable having AI do my books.
And there
I
you
just
go.
wouldn't.
Right. The trust factor, and you spend as much time reviewing what it did.
Yeah.
What it's not doing yet is saying, well, what are those numbers revealing to direct a financial strategy for my business? Yeah. And it can, but again, you need a human that's been around the block. Let's talk about, when I just said I'm aging myself, there is a lot to experience, and having lived life and had businesses and worked for corporate Fortune 500 companies. There's just something to this, right, Van? Mm-hmm. You've been around the block. In your field, let's look at your subfield, real estate. It's changing markedly, but it's still going to take a human.
Yeah. Yeah, I've embraced technology. As of today, this is my 42nd year in real estate. So I've seen changes. When I started in the real estate world, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers, and I always say we had to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow. So I always end it with that so people know how long ago it was. But we didn't have any technology, and everybody was doing extremely well because we didn't know what we didn't know. And then technology came out, and I embrace technology. A lot of people that have been in this industry as long as I have don't embrace it, because they're so used to a certain way of doing things. I think technology makes all of our lives easier. And I embrace AI, but I don't believe in, like you said, in the real estate world, it will not replace an agent. However, it will make the buyers and sellers of real estate more knowledgeable. And I love that. An educated consumer is one of my favorite clients. I like people that are educated. And one thing that AI has allowed in this industry, and probably every industry, is it educates people more than they had the opportunity to do before.
That's exactly right. It is cultivating articles of interest based on what you put in that you want, as opposed to you having to imagine, or do I have to put the right prompt into Google? In talent, Van, performance reviews, kind of the bane of everybody's existence, especially in a large organization or a large department. So there's a pro and con to that, letting AI help you in that, getting them done, cranking them out. But how does that make an employee feel that's worked really hard to prove herself and wants to grow in the organization, that you've handed it off to AI to do her review? So once again,
that would not sit well with me.
Right, it's the
impersonal.
It's embracing it, yet they're a partner.
Yeah,
AI can be our partner in how we do business going forward. I am optimistic about it. I really don't think it's going to wipe out a ton of jobs. It's going to wipe out a ton of tasks. To your point, that we toil doing.
I think what the biggest challenge in my, just my opinion, is trying to decipher what's real and what's not real. I understand AI can make a human say things that you'd think it's them and it's not, and I think that can be dangerous. Of course, you and I are on the business side of the spectrum, so we're using AI for good and not for evil. But I saw an interview on 60 Minutes with one of the founders of AI, and I don't know how many years ago, and the whole interview, it was all about the positive and how great and all these wonderful attributes that AI will bring. And then the reporter said at the very end, is there anything you're concerned about? And the whole demeanor of everything changed. He slowed down his role in speaking, and he goes, I'm scared of everything that it can bring because it's unknown. So good people like Wendy Wiseman and your great company are going to use AI to benefit business people. But you know that AI, just like anything in life, will be used for, not good purposes.
Right. So one example of it backfiring is a company asked AI to help it find, I think, accountants actually. So what it did was search the resume and the social media platforms of the current accountants in the business. And it kicked back something like, well, these are candidates you should look for. People named Tom, men, because all it did was a search of who's in the job now.
Oh, my gosh.
And so that's implicit bias, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that somebody not named Tom, maybe she's named Lucy.
Yeah.
But it would search like for anything. Then the candidate, it would search their profile. And if they're a woman or they had the term woman in their profile, they would not consider them. So it's back to more implicit bias caused by that, because that's one way to look. You should be able to look at the skills of who's on board right now, not the personal attributes of a person who's on board right now, because that won't determine success in any manner. You know that from the people. Look at all the agents you've hired in the past. If you had one profile,
it wouldn't work.
You know what we know in business today, Van? You and I, you never know.
Yeah.
It's never who you think that is the rising star, and it's who you think is coming in to kill it, and they can't deliver.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Exactly. And we have that in all our industries.
Yes, everywhere. Yeah.
I call people that say they're going to do something and they don't. Big hat, no cattle. I learned that in Texas.
That's integrity, to do what you say you're going to do.
That's exactly right. I preach under promise and over deliver. If you want referrals, whatever industry you're in, if you want people referring you, which is the ultimate, you know that you're good at what you do when people refer you. Bottom line. And that should be your mission, because your advertising dollars a lot less when you get referrals. People are out there bragging about your services, and that's how you know that you're doing a good job.
Right. So we all like the human word of mouth referral, right? Mm-hmm. And we say, hey, I really need an advertising agency. Who do you recommend? That answer holds so much more weight than a social post or
testimonial.
Exactly, right? Because I trust you, and boy, if Van has faith in that person, I'm going to at least talk to them and see what I think for myself.
Let's talk about the talent in the age of AI, the process, and how does how does it work? I mean, is it subscription?
Yes.
Tell us
yes.
how we do business with you.
Thank you for asking that. So there are some items to access without membership, but the real rubber hits the road with a very affordable membership, $300 a year, $295. I should be the marketer.
Yeah. $299
instead of rounding up.
But it works. I mean, $299 sounds way better than $300.
It sure does. So, and that gives a lot more access to being in a circle of influence. I mean, to be able to access those in your field throughout the nation that are doing it well, yeah, join. Access to special webinars on the topics, to white papers on the topic. And I know white papers today, some people go, kill me because I don't want to read. But these are intriguing, engaging, and they mean a lot, and they help you do your job better. And then podcasts where we have guests from all over the nation that are making strides in AI.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's Talent in the Age of AI.
Talent?
Okay.
Podcast, Talent in the Age of AI.
Yeah. And so I think membership has its privileges, and I think that people are serious about attending when they're a member. And then there's a corporate rate, and then there's a VIP rate, and then there's an early in rate. So
and how often are these podcasts?
Once a month.
Oh, wow.
Once
and
a
everybody
month.
that's a member has access to be able to tune in. What if they can't make that live podcast? Is it recorded?
Yeah, they'll record it, and you can access that through your password to
Anytime.
Anytime, yeah. And then every month as well, that we have the Big Three podcast. We keep our finger on the pulse of what do people want to know today, including our members, and we just come out with a 20-minute. Here's the Big Three. It's called snackable content.
Oh, wow.
And someone may have that same question, and they don't want to sit through a 1 hour or 45-minute podcast. They just want to know, what's the Big Three? Or even, Van, what should I be worried about? What do I know that I don't even know? I don't know.
Yeah.
And so the Big Three kind of helps tell them, here's what your peers are thinking about today, wondering about today. Here's our response to that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I love it because it's affordable. And you're going to gain all the knowledge you can possibly learn to help benefit your business. I think this is a great program that you founded.
Thank you.
And also, I don't have the figure in front of me, and I don't want to just shout a number out there, but we have got so many entrepreneurs that have sprouted up in this world. And, I'm a big advocate of Shark Tank on CNBC, and I'm glued to it. I mean, my mother used to say, if you're going to watch the Idiot Box, watch something that's of value. And so that's cartoons. No, I'm kidding. But so I'm a Shark Tank junkie. I've probably seen every episode half dozen times, and I've had guests I've had a one-on-one with Barbara Corcoran.
Oh, my gosh.
And I had one of Kevin O'Leary's guests on my radio show, which you've been a guest on my radio show in the past years. But I can't tell you what I learned. And I believe, which my whole point in bringing Shark Tank up is, they're responsible for creating a lot of entrepreneurs in this world with the decade plus that they've been doing their show. But we have so many people that are finding ways to leave the corporate world to do their own thing because it's not guaranteed that they're going to be employed, And so a lot of people are looking, but bringing it back to center, what you're offering is Talent in the Age of AI allows entrepreneurs that want to build their business to be part of something that's a collaborative, and they're on these calls with all these people on these podcasts. How can you not learn something to benefit? Like I tell people, I don't care what the topic is. I tell real estate agents, I don't care what industry, learn something from that industry or what somebody else is doing and find ways to implement it and incorporate it into your business. Chances are you might stand out from the crowd because you did.
Oh, I just love that so much. It's about being a learner, right? A Renaissance person that absorbs a lot of information from all kinds of sources. And so one of my favorite books is on generating ideas because my other business, as you know, is marketing. And ideas are what CEOs want. You know, CEOs have to solve problems every single day. People bring them problems. Now, can you imagine? You're a CEO, but you're solving problems all the time. Yep. What they really love and want is someone who brings ideas.
Yes.
And there's a void of ideation out there. And
proactive versus reactive.
That's right, and something new. And so, there are no original ideas in the world, is one thing that we learn in advertising. What it is the combination of ideas. And you can't combine ideas if you don't get out there and watch something different on television, or, you know, pick a different channel to stream, or go ahead and watch a documentary and learn. Yeah. And learners will run the world, because learners, and they always have, learners will embrace AI and not assume it's going to just replace it and give up and say, well, just do my job for me. Learners embrace how to harness AI
and
for
use it
their
to
good.
their advantage.
To their advantage. That's exactly right. Yeah. You're a learner, Van. I'm a learner. I love to learn. And one of the greatest compliments that people have given me in my advertising career is, how did you think of that?
That is a big compliment.
It's so cool, you know, and you just say, well, we thought of it, because it's always a collaborative, but it's because I love to learn. Yeah. This occurred to me. I got chills when it all came to me, talent in the age of AI.
How did it come to you? I'm just curious. Is it?
I don't know.
It just happened. You woke up one morning and you said, talent in the age of AI. That's my jam.
And then you go look and see if it's available, and you buy the URL, and then we've done a lot of work with talent and development with post-secondary educations across the nation, and meaning corporations, they want to help their employees access education, and that's it is a good model, but it's a little bit of a model that might be, I don't want to say going away, but it's just short courses, certifications in the topic needed at the time. This is what people need to access. This is what corporations, I can't have them take too long to earn their degree. I need them to know now. Yeah. And I've been in that field, that industry, for 30 years. I've written to it. I've written about it. I've encouraged people to join it. And then when, this AI is the greatest opportunity in the world to motivate, manage, upskill, train employees. I believe in that. And I believe in it so much that it exudes a 50-page marketing plan and the partners to bring to the table. And
when I first read your new program and what you're doing, first thing I thought of is, one, this is needed. This business that you've created is needed badly, because so many people in the business world feel like they're on an island and that they're alone. And this will allow them to collaborate with like-minded people. They'll be part of something really big that's taking over the world. And I just want to share some of the things that a monthly or a membership will bring.
Thank you, Van.
With a talent in the age of AI. You have access to podcasts, certain webinars, newsletters, gated articles, circle of influence and peer groups, master classes, problem-solving forums. So when I read this, I'm like, I'm a businessman, and I've been doing real estate for 42 years, so you can get bored. 42 years, you can get bored. So in order for me not to be bored, I've got to find something new in my industry and make it happen and be creative and step outside of my comfort zone and keep it interesting. And, I'm working on a master class, and I've just completed 33 modules for real estate agents only. Hopefully we'll launch it later in 2025. But one of the modules is how to stand out in your industry. And I believe, because that's how people get noticed, is when they're doing something so creative. It's like, here's the real estate community, and here's Van Deeb. And that's what I've always strived for. I wanted to stand out for my industry. What you're doing with talent in the age of AI, with your memberships, you're helping people stand out in maybe a crowded industry.
I think that's right and well said. Thank you for that analogy. It is true. And in addition to standing out, they're being asked to stand out. The pressure from the C-level of what are we going to do? What are we going to do? They will have some answers here. And
it will make them, a lot more marketable the more they know about AI. And your program, your membership, allows people to really learn about AI by listening to other people and how they're using it.
In real-world industry nomenclature. So I have met with a lot of people that are, quote-unquote, today's experts in AI, and it is like AI alphabet soup.
Yeah.
All the acronyms, and they're talking so fast, and you can tell they're really in it, and they know it, and I appreciate that. But I'm a put it in real language person, and it really needs to relate to my industry, otherwise I maybe can't make the leap. So I appreciate you saying that. This is a safe space to collaborate.
And it's just to be educated. So you're not the only one out there not understanding the power of AI. I want to encourage, and wrapping up, I want to encourage anybody watching, to get on an even playing field with AI and learn as much as you can. And by joining groups like this for $295 a year, and you're going to be educated and be able to access podcasts, webinars, articles, newsletters. I highly recommend it. So I really want to drive people to your website, which is talentintheageofai.com.
Thank you so much, Van.
Yeah, and Wendy, I can't thank you enough for being a guest on the Van Deeb podcast.
It means a lot to have been invited. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to be a customer.
I love that.
Yeah, because I need this. I mean, I want to pretend I know what I'm doing. So
that's the thing, the confidence that you do.
It gives you confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, knowledge is power. I preach that in all my sales meetings. Knowledge is power. And people are attracted to people with knowledge. So that's very true.
Thank you.
Yes, and I would like you to, if you haven't, subscribe to this podcast. So it's in your inbox twice a month in different interviews. Some of these will just be me alone ranting about how to get better in business. But this podcast is for one reason, to help you grow and learn and get better at your career. So I'm grateful. Please subscribe, and thank you. And thank you, Wendy Wiseman. Please look up talentintheageofai.com. I think you'll be thrilled to death. But most of all, thank you for watching the Van Deeb podcast today.